This all happened when I was younger. As I walked through the old, dusty house with my parents, I couldn't shake the feeling that something was off. The open house tour had seemed like a fun idea at first, but now I just wanted to get out of there. The house was large and spacious, with high ceilings and dark corners. It was the kind of place that was perfect for hiding secrets. As we moved from room to room, my parents chatted excitedly about the potential of making an offer, but I couldn't really focus on anything they were saying. I wandered away from them, drawn to a dark hallway that was tucked away out of sight. As I walked down the hall, I found a door that I was sure hadn't been there when last I glanced over. I had circled around the place once already, and I was pretty sure that this door wasn't there before. It was old and faded, with peeling paint and a rusty doorknob. I reached out and touched the doorknob, feeling a chill run down my spine as my fingers wrapped around it, and I could almost feel the door itself trying to push me away, but I was determined to see what was behind it. I turned the knob and pushed, feeling the door creak open with a groan of protest. I stepped through the threshold and into the darkness beyond, my heart pounding in my chest. I could feel the walls closing in around me, suffocating and overwhelming. Suddenly, I heard a noise behind me and spun around, but the door was gone, and I was trapped in the dark. And as I stood there, alone and terrified, my eyes adjusted to the darkness, and I realized that I was standing in the middle of a staircase. It was winding and narrow. It seemed to go further down than I could see, and the bottom was nowhere in sight. I felt a sense of fear and trepidation as I stared down the stairs. What was down there? The unknown can set your imaginations running wild, but I didn't have any other choice. The only way out was down. With a deep breath, I started to venture down the staircase. The steps were old and creaky, and they groaned beneath my feet. As I descended deeper and deeper, I felt a growing sense of unease. The staircase seemed to go on forever with no end in sight. I kept my hand on the wall, trying to steady myself as I walked. The longer I went on, and still without reaching the bottom, I couldn't help but feel that, though impossible as it may seem, this staircase stretched on infinitely, and that somehow I had taken a step out of time, trapped in this continuous cycle of descending forever downwards. Panic sets in, and I tried sprinting forward, hoping against hope that I could outrun this nightmare. But no matter how long I ran, the bottom never materialized. I don't know how long I went on. Time seemed to lose all meaning in a place like this. I couldn't tell if I had been walking for minutes, hours, or even days. The only reference I had was the way my hands looked. When I stared down at them, they were no longer the hands of a young boy, but the wrinkled, gnarly hands of an old man. Have I really been down here for so long? It couldn't be possible, but feeling for my face, I felt the contours of a face ravaged by age. And then, without warning, the stairs ended. I stepped off the last step and into a room that felt very familiar to me, like something out of a distant dream. I was back in the house before I found the stairs. It looked exactly the same as it did the day I disappeared, as if no time had passed at all. A noise emerged from the other room, and I cautiously approached. As I peered around the corner, I saw my parents. They too were exactly the same as the day I went missing. I ran over to them and tried to embrace them, but they freaked out when they saw me. They stepped back, keeping me a fair distance away, and looked at me like I was some kind of stranger. And there it was. The reality of the situation hit me. Whatever happened to me on those stairs had left its mark on me, and they no longer recognized who I am. I don't know what happened to me in that dark, forgotten room. All I know is that I was lost for a long time, and when I finally found my way back, I was no longer the same person.